Alright, hello and welcome. How to build a crypto future trading bot with Python and the Bybit API. Interesting video, however, let me give you some prior remarks. First of all, trading cryptocurrencies, high risk. Trading futures on cryptocurrencies, extremely high risk. So, what I want to say is, know what you're doing. And obviously this video is a technical guideline and not any form of investment advice. If you ask me, I would be very sure about what I'm doing before getting into future trading on cryptocurrencies. Total loss of capital is possible and also probable. And again, this whole video is not an investment advice, it is for educational purposes only. Second of all, the strategy that I'm coding and I'm implementing here is simplified. So I do not recommend to trade this strategy. It's just an example to get the bot going. That being said, let's get started with the coding part. So I have the notebook open here. And we need pandas, time. I'm importing my API key and my API secret here. So this is just a Python file storing my keys. And I'm also importing HTTP from the Bybit library. Second of all, I'm instantiating a client object, and this client variable is just the access to the Bybit platform. So I can execute all kinds of functions. This is all defined within the Bybit library. Now, how is this working? Now I'm setting demo to true to connect to the demo trading environment. So this is not the live environment. If you leave that out, then you get into the live trading environment. So be cautious with that. You see here on my other screen, I'm in the demo trading environment, so this is where I want to connect to. Providing my API key and my API secret here, and with that I have set up my client object. Now this function is nothing fancy and nothing new. This is simply processing candlestick or kline data from the API. I've gone through that in another video. What this is just doing is taking an API response and is doing some data transformation, so you end up with a lucid data frame. I will show you in some minutes how the data is looking like when you pass it through this function. You need this function just to make things easier. Next, we have some trading parameters. And at this point, I'm quickly going over the strategy, and it's really straightforward. It's simple. I've ran some backtests, doesn't look too bad to be honest, but I didn't do it in detail to have the security that this strategy is actually working. So again, just as an example. So how is the strategy? The strategy is if the assets, so in this case I'm trading the Bitcoin in relation to USDT. When the asset is dropping by 1% within the last 15 minutes, then I'm placing an order, go long on the asset, so I'm presuming a reversal, and then I'm setting a target profit to 0.4% and a stop loss of 0.2%. So if it's dropping further, then I'm directly getting out again, but if it's reversing, I'm locking in the profit. Symbol, as I said, Bitcoin USDT, and quantity, whatever quantity you wanna buy. So these are my parameters, and we just execute them. Next, fetch recent data. This function is just pulling data from now and then is going 15 minutes back, just to see how the coin was moving over the last 15 minutes. So you see we're passing client, the symbol, an interval and lookback minutes, and then I'm pulling the current time. Take the lookback into account, so I'm just taking the lookback minutes, in this case 15 minutes, and then I'm subtracting from the current time the lookback in milliseconds. With that, I'm just ending at a timestamp 15 minutes before the time of now. And then I'm pulling kline data or candlestick data for the symbol on the 1 minute interval, and I'm starting at the start time, which is 15 minutes back, and I'm going until just now. So if I test this and just pull for Bitcoin USDT, so I've defined it here, I will get a data frame which is looking like this. So open, high, low, close, and you see it's going until now, and then it is starting 15 minutes before. So in that case, you see Bitcoin barely moved here in the last 15 minutes, so probably not enough to trigger the buying condition. So we have data for the last 15 minutes. Let's move on. So the next function is simply now calculating the movement. So as you see, what I'm doing here, start price, is I'm just pulling the close and I'm just ilocking for 0, meaning I just start at this price. So the price 15 minutes ago, and then I'm ending at the most recent price, so the price as of now. And then this function is just providing me the start price, the end price, and this is the most important one here, the difference. So you see I'm setting the start price in relation to the end price and subtract a 1 here. This is my threshold check later on. So when this is going to be larger or equal to 1%, then I'm going to buy the asset. So as an example, you start at price X and now it's dropping by 1%. So meaning you have 95 something, and then at the end it's 94 something. Then this one divided by this one minus 1 becomes a number which is being close to 0.1 or 0.01. So just the threshold level here, 1% drop. Alright, so nothing too complicated. I'm going to show you how this would look like for the current data frame. So you see this is just the first close value here, so the close value 15 minutes ago. Then this is just the last price, so the close value here. And then this is just the movement. So you see started at here, then was rising. So it has a negative number here that indicates that the asset was not dropping, but rising. Alright, so if it's dropping, this number becomes positive. That's all I wanted to say, and that is all what this part is doing. So you can test that versus the threshold parameters. Now, the interesting part, placing a long order. First of all, very straightforward. You just place an order for the given symbol, side buy, and you just take a market order. You can also use limit orders if you want. I'm keeping it as simple as possible here. Pass the quantity and the time in force. And this is just placing a long position, market order wise, and then gives you the feedback that you opened a long position. whenever you call this function. At the same time, and this is a bit tricky with the Bybit API, you need to extract information from that order. And it's unfortunately a bit inconvenient for Bybit to get order information. So just as a comparison, on Binance, you can just extract order details and then you can pull the order price. On Bybit it's a bit more complicated. So what I did here, I just pulled the open orders and then just looked for the very last one. And with that, I'm getting the order details. So with that, I can extract the entry price from that order. You have to set open only to 1, otherwise you won't get the order, which is already been filled. So the order is filled here at this point, and then you pull this filled order. If you want to be 100% sure, you can pull the order ID. That is at least what you're getting when you fire up buy order here, and just compare it if you get the same order ID when you pull the order information here. If you want to be on the 100% safe side, or let's say you just have a ton of positions trading, then you need a security check here, but this is doing the job for our requirements. So in a nutshell, you just pull order information after you've placed the order, just for the sake to pull the executed price. And this is what you call entry price here. So I'm just using the order and then extract the average price of the order and then convert it to a floating value. And with that, I'm calculating my target profit and stop loss price. So I'm just taking the entry price and add the defined target profit and stop loss on top, or subtract it for the stop loss case. Nothing more than that. Now once you calculated them, you need to modify your order. That's also a Bybit speciality, or just a thing which you have to get used to. So you send a modification to your current order. So you see I'm setting a trading stop here, then define the symbol again and define the take profit as my take profit price and the stop loss as my stop loss price. And with that, I amend the order so it has a target profit and a stop loss. Then I want to have some feedback. What is my target profit and my stop loss price? And that's it for placing the long order. Quite some code, but also pretty straightforward if you get used to these Bybit requirements. So let's execute that. Next one, get position status. The reason behind this function is that we want to do the order management outside of the script. So Bybit knows best in which positions you currently are, right? So on Bybit, you see it here in your positions table. So you see currently I'm not in any positions here. And how I want to handle this script is that it's doing an API call and checks if I'm currently in a position. This is what this function is doing, nothing more than that. So you see client get positions, so pull all my positions on a given symbol, in this case in Bitcoin USDT, and then just pull me both the size and the side. So meaning in this case we are only doing long trades. So it is providing you the size of your order, which is just the quantity. So what did we define above here? 0.01, I think it was, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 0.01 you will get as the size of the position, and then the side is going to be long. So if you do that, for me, in my case, you saw I don't have any open positions, but if I'm pulling this function now, you see I have 0 and my side is also not defined here. So this is how I can check for my current positions. With that, the only thing remaining is to tell the bot what exactly to do with those defined functions. And this is what's happening here in the run bot function. That's pretty straightforward. First of all, you just run an infinite loop and then you pull your current position. If you are currently not in a position, that is what is going to be triggered if the position size is 0, as it is initially, or at the moment, as I'm not in any positions. So if I'm not in any positions, I want to have a feedback, you're not in a position, and then I'm starting to fetch data for the last 15 minutes. Then I pull my current price just for informational purposes, and I'm also pulling my price diff to benchmark that versus the drop threshold. So this is simply what I explained some minutes ago. This is simply the movement which you just compare versus your threshold, and if that is larger or equal to 1%, that means that it dropped by 1% over the last 15 minutes. So these variables I'm defining here using the calc move function from above, and then I want to have some printouts here just to see that everything is running as I expect. So I want to have data pull, last price, and then the current price, and then I also, out of curiosity, want to have the 15-minute market move. So that is just the price different. And now, as I just said, this is the buying condition here. So if my price difference is larger or equal to the drop threshold, then I'm placing a long order. So also some printouts here, 1% drop detected, placing long order, and then position opened successfully whenever you have placed a long order. Now what is happening if I am in a position? And that is an important thing to keep in mind here. If you are in a position, just remember you already have defined your target profit and your stop loss. So the script has to do nothing in that case. And I would use this situation to not do any unnecessary API requests. So the limitations are quite generous from Bybit, but there is no point in pulling anything when you are currently in a position. So I'm just printing out you're in a position, there's no need to pull data, and then I'm printing the current position. So if I have a position of 0.01 Bitcoin USDT, I will see it popping up here when printing out the current position variable. And then I'm setting a timer here to go to sleep for 10 seconds. You can take another sleeping time horizon here. I would wait at least 5 seconds here, because there's simply no point in doing that more frequently in that case. So I'm sleeping 10 seconds and then the next iteration of the loop is running. So pretty cool function. It's just pulling your current position from your or not from your account over the API. That's the right wording here. And then it's checking the buying condition, places a buy order, including the target profit and stop loss, and it's giving you a feedback no matter what's happening. So let's execute that, and now it's hammer time. I'm just running the bot by firing up the run bot function. So let's see what this is giving us. So as expected, first iteration, you're not in a position ATM. Data pulled, last price is 95,466. And then I have a 15-minute market move of this one. And just remember, you have to think the other way around here, right? So I calculate the price diff. Wait a second. Like this, right? So start price divided by end price minus 1. So when this is a negative number, it's going up. When this is a positive number, it's going down, right? So just keep that in mind. You can also write that in a different way if that is confusing to you. So 15-minute market move. So in this case here, we're getting positive number, meaning the market was dropping a bit over the last 15 minutes. Yeah, also matches with what we're seeing here. Now, I mean, I cannot force the Bitcoin to drop by X amount, but I can just fake or just make our parameters so that buying orders are triggered. I think that's interesting to see as well. So let's interrupt this script for now. And what is this currently? 0.001. So let's just amend the threshold here, just to see that, you see that orders are going through and how it's looking like when you have an open order. I think that is quite interesting. So just giving that more playroom here, or more leeway, and run this thingy again. And here now you interestingly see, so we have 1% drop detected, placing long order. So I mean, it's not 1% now, obviously, but now you see that an order is going through. You see that you have a take profit and a stop loss, and the position opens successfully. And you already see, and this is quite interesting, the next iterations, because now it's pulling from your positions, and now it's telling you, okay, you are in a long position 0.01. And you can even confirm that with the interface. And now we see that we have a Bitcoin USDT future position open here. And if you also check the current orders, you will see that here you have your target profit and stop loss defined. Target profit and stop loss, which is matching to what you just saw in the script. So pretty cool, works like a charm. Couple of things to mention here. So obviously some checks here and there to double check if everything runs in your expectation are necessary at some places, as I mentioned in the course of this video. You can also work with WebSocket data streams, also perfectly fine, and maybe even better. Then you have to take care of that the data stream is running all the time, so that's the downside, but probably a better approach to do it. As always with trading bots, the sky's the limit. Where do you start? Where do you stop? But I'm open to go through all this stuff, so let me know what you're interested in. I hope this was for you as exciting as it was for me. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you in the upcoming videos. Cheers. Bye bye.